Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to take a really fascinating, completely impartial look at ancient biblical texts to basically diagnose the psychology behind a very modern phenomenon, hustle culture. We so often think of burnout and this endless grinding ambition as uniquely modern problems, right? Like they were born from social media and climbing corporate ladders. But as we're about to see, the human mind has actually been wrestling with these exact same drives and traps for literally thousands of years.
Now, before we really unpack these ancient texts, I want you to consider your own pursuit of success for a second. Think about the hours you're working, the goals you set, all that stress you carry around every day. Does that drive actually bring you a sense of lasting peace? Or, and be entirely honest with yourself here, does it kind of trap you in this endless looping cycle where enough is just never actually enough? Just kind of keep that in the back of your mind as we dive in.
Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the hunger for more, where ambition begins.
So the source material establishes a really crucial baseline for us here. It tells us that the path to ruin doesn't usually start with some massive dramatic disaster. Nope. Instead, it typically kicks off with something incredibly ordinary. It's just a simple, really intense hunger for wealth and success. An internal appetite that just constantly demands to be fed.
Let's look at this absolutely profound observation from the book of Ecclesiastes. The text argues, and it's pretty blunt about it, that the root of all our hard work is often just one person's envy of another. Basically, it's the ancient equivalent of keeping up with the Joneses. We look at what someone else has achieved, and bam, that comparison triggers our own exhausting toil. The author looks at that entire cycle and diagnoses it as, well, totally meaningless.
And I really want you to notice the specific metaphor they use here, chasing after the wind. It just perfectly describes the unwinnable nature of envy-driven ambition. Think about what it means to literally chase the wind. It's invisible, it's constantly shifting, and the faster you run after it, the more exhausted you get, without ever actually holding on to anything tangible. It's the ultimate futile pursuit of the impossible. And that innocent-seeming hunger? Well, it leads us straight into Section 2, the trap of wealth, the spiritual snare.
The ancient texts issue a really stark warning right here. They suggest that this drive for success frequently morphs into a hidden spiritual trap. And you know how traps work? By design, they're completely invisible until it's too late. It catches us off guard, triggering a snare that captures a person's inner life, their peace, their true purpose, basically holding them hostage to their own ambitions.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates the downward spiral described in 1 Timothy chapter 6. Look at how it maps the exact chronological descent. Step 1 is simply wanting to get rich. Innocent enough, right? But that desire leads to Step 2, falling into temptation, which then opens the door wide for Step 3, foolish and harmful desires. And before you even realize the trap is sprung, you're dragged right down into Step 4, absolute ruin and destruction. It's a remarkably precise psychological map.
So, you might be wondering, why on earth do we fall into this trap so easily if the descent is so predictable? Well, we fall for it because of a really powerful illusion, highlighted here in Ecclesiastes 10. It points out the seductive cultural lie that money is the answer for everything. And let's be honest, it's a comforting thought, isn't it? If money is the ultimate answer, we just have to hustle a little harder to solve all our problems. We just buy into that illusion completely.
But, as we all know, illusions eventually shatter. And that brings us to Section 3, the reality check, when illusions shatter. Here we can clearly contrast the glamorous promise of wealth against its actual, lived psychological cost. On the one hand, you have the promise, this shiny idea that money solves it all. But on the other hand, the source material reveals the grim reality, ruin, destruction, and a life of constant friction. It's like the marketing material of ambition almost never matches the final product.
And according to 1 Timothy 6, the true cost of this ambition is exactly that. Constant friction. Unchecked ambition just creates toxic relationships. The text describes a mindset so thoroughly corrupted by the pursuit of wealth that it views absolutely everything. We're talking spirituality, ethics, even your friendships, as just another means to financial gain. It literally turns the entire world into one big transaction.
So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is that this relentless drive doesn't just risk your bank account, it fundamentally robs us of truth. Because when your only lens for viewing the world is personal gain, you are effectively blinded to reality. And that blindness, it deeply damages our connections with others. It replaces genuine human interaction with this constant, exhausting relational friction.
Fortunately, though, the source material does offer a way out.
Let's look at Section 4, the antidote to ambition, stopping the grind.
The solution laid out here in Proverbs 23 is just remarkably direct. It cuts right through all the noise of our modern hustle culture with a very simple instruction. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Do not trust your own cleverness. I mean, wow. It's a direct command to just stop the self-imposed exhaustion. It challenges the very core of our modern ego, basically telling us to stop relying on our own cleverness to endlessly try and game the system.
To put it simply, the ultimate remedy requires a conscious, active decision from you. You have to literally step off the exhausting treadmill of constant acquisition. Actually, scratch that. It's more like recognizing that our own ambitious cleverness might actually be the very gear driving the trap we're caught in. It's an open invitation to just step back, breathe, and cultivate something real.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final thought. Take a hard look at the work you're doing right now. Evaluate your own ambitions and ask yourself, why are you truly hustling? Are you simply chasing the wind, wearing yourself out for an illusion fueled by envy? Or are you stepping back, seeing clearly, and building something that actually lasts? The ancient text suggests the choice is entirely yours. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.